Hello and good morning, my lovely wolf pack, and welcome back to the Lone Wolf Show, brought to you by Wolfpack Media, the most entertaining place on YouTube for your news and commentary. I'm your host, Justin Huseman, founder and news contributor. We have a great show today, and I can't wait to get started, but before we do, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, share the show with all your friends and everyone you know, and join the pack today. Join it. Join us here. We have fun. All right. So, my friends, have you guys kind of been wondering how these Somalians have been getting their laundered daycare money back to their home country? Well, I got good news for you. Wonder no more, because we have this story that actually dates back to, I guess, 2018, when this money smuggling, operation kind of began. It seems that these people just put tons of cash on a little, carry-on bag, walked right through the airport with it, got on a plane, and boom, Bob's your uncle. Laundered money transported. It was that easy, apparently. How much you guys want to bet that there were probably some TSA agents that were on the take on that little scam job there? Because that's pretty much what I've come to expect from the state of Minnesota, especially the city of Minneapolis. At this point, I'm just like this. I just immediately, I don't even ask questions yet. I just immediately assume that somebody with some sort of authority is in on the money scheme, whatever that may entail. Because I don't know, nobody asked any questions. Nobody questioned this shit whatsoever. Nobody wonders why these people have all this cash on their carry-ons. Nothing else. They bring nothing else. It happens apparently pretty regularly. And they're just like, nope, nothing to see here, I guess. Well, guys, I guess let's take a look at this first video from Real America's Voice. They are the ones that kind of broke this story, I think. Let's take a look.
We're going to turn our attention back to the Somali fraud investigation. As we've discussed before, authorities have discovered suitcases containing hundreds of millions of dollars in a Minnesota airport. Now, in the meantime, Republicans are working to cut funding for Somali-led organizations with alleged ties to the massive fraud scandal. Now, as the FBI pushes forward with its own investigation, one key question arises. What does accountability even look like in this case moving forward? So joining us now to talk about all of this and more is New York Congresswoman Claudia Tenney. Congresswoman, thanks so much for being with us tonight.
Hey, great to be on with you too. What a crazy time we're seeing here, aren't we?
Absolutely insanity. And I know oversight in the House is looking into these fraud allegations, but I wonder if it's even bigger than we have uncovered thus far. The $700 million in cash going out of the airports there. I have a feeling we are still just scratching the surface.
Yeah, it looks really bad, and obviously very alarming to see that this U.S. cash has been legally going through our airports. And of course, there is a requirement of reporting if you're going to carry more than $10,000. There's a reporting requirement, but I think a really interesting part about this is isn't it going to be a little suspicious when you start seeing 10,000, 100,000, millions, and now, more, as John reported earlier, more money that goes through JFK, goes through the Minneapolis airport. Something's wrong there. And I think something that's very interesting that we impose on banks is that banks are required under banking law to require and file and keep track of what they call suspicious activity reports. This is something I think we need to do now when we see the large amounts of U.S. cash, and it's always U.S. cash. I mean, you're not going to see, Chinese yen or anything else going through there. And U.S. cash is king, and we need to certainly have this type of cash exchange reported. It's interesting because you see all this illegal immigration we've had over this time. And by the way, most of those Somalis that are in Minnesota probably came through a refugee program, and probably many of them are already legal American citizens. So suspicious activity reports, some kind of accounting for cash, I think would really be helpful. I'm looking at ways that we might be able to do this so that we could actually look at what's going on. Banks are required to do that. Individuals are not. But I'll tell you, if I'm a TSA agent or anyone else and I see this kind of cash going through, and that you're able to report the amount of cash going through, that it's happening in plain sight. We're seeing corruption in plain sight. most of the remittances that go back often go to these foreign countries, and there's substantial portions of their economy, whether it's Guatemala and Mexico and other countries. Their own workers are sending that money back. But this is at a level that is just unprecedented. And I really think we need to look into a way to track that and to actually show that we can hold them accountable, and that type of suspicious activity leads to fraud, arrest, and what we're seeing unfold every day in Minnesota, which seems to get worse by the day.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I want to ask about the two most common way illegal aliens, also legal aliens, by the way, legal residents of the United States, but move money out of the country, remittance payment centers, and of course these cash couriers like the ones that we're working out of the Minneapolis airport. Is there any thought in Congress to requiring that a remittance payment business or a cash courier ascertain and make sure that before they move money, the person that they're moving money from out of the United States is a lawful resident or citizen?
Yeah, I think that should be a requirement. And also they should have some kind of certification that you are a person that we can trust, our intelligence forces have already vetted, that you can be carrying these huge amounts of cash back and forth to other countries. And I don't think those types of laws are in place. And I think that's a really good way to start having accountability and also tracking where this cash leaving the United States is going. And look what it would have led to had we paid attention to this over the last 10 years, and what you reported earlier on $700 million. I mean, that's almost $1 billion going, I think it was 700 million going, through an airport in Minneapolis, not JFK. Amazing.
Holy cow, guys. We are being robbed. We really need to wake up, bro. I feel like a lot of people I know are just like kind of blah about this, out here in the real world, not on the interweb, but everybody's just kind of blah. I've heard people be like, I don't think I've heard people like a buddy tell me, I don't think it's as bad as everybody's making out to be. I'm like, $700 million is pretty fucking bad, bro. I don't know, dude. Like, at this point, I don't know how to convince people that, yeah, this is a problem and we can't tolerate it. I don't know what it is with people in this country, even people that are Trump voters and MAGA, are kind of like so black-pilled that they're just like, I don't know. I maybe it's an American thing, and especially here in the Midwest, I notice, where we just kind of tolerate the banality of evil, and it's terrible. Especially, I know Christians should be, not tolerant of this, man. Like we can't lean on this in the like apologetics way of Christianity, especially when it comes to just blatant and broad theft. It's like you should just let somebody steal shit from you, bro. Like, come on, man. Especially when that money is supposed to be like for like a collective of people. Like, we're not just talking about like at the individual level here. I hate to get all communist with you guys, but we're looking at the big picture here, that all that money, we're the ones paying for it's our money to begin with, that's just being snatched away by the federal government. Yeah, freaking the Fed is theft. IRS is theft. But taxes is theft. But that's neither here nor there. It's just kind of like looking at the big scheme of things. Yeah, that's a lot of fucking money, man. That's a lot of money that could be doing a lot of good for a lot of people here. And it's like, we're just like, let them take it. Of course, you got the people there. There's malevolent evil and the banality of evil. And when I see people just going, oh, that's kind of just the way it is, sometimes fraud happens, that's ignoring the banality of evil, I think. Or ignoring that is the banality of evil. But then you got at the top level of this, and that's the kind of the government leaders in Minnesota that I'm thinking about, among other states, that they're where the malevolent evil kind of is chilling. And I don't know how to make people see that, man. I don't know how to make people see that them tolerating evil is evil. Like, yeah, you may not be the one doing it. The blood may not be directly on your hands in that situation, but it's still like you could have done, like, people, we can do something to stop it and we don't. We just kind of sit here and are like, well, that's just the way it is, just like freaking most boomers and shit are about the tax system in general. Everybody just seems to sit around. We sit around and bitch about taxes all day. The people, even the Republicans in Congress, sit around and bitch about taxes all day, but they won't do a goddamn thing about it. And I think that's just that kind of complacency can, in a lot of instances, be just as evil as the person committing the actual malice evil to begin with. But I don't know. I did want to take a look at this next video too. Let's see. Hold on. Be patient. Give me a quick second. I should be more prepared, but you'd think I would be more prepared. But I'm terrible. Yeah, this is a guy. This is also on Real America's Voice. John Solomon's kind of talking about this further. Let's go ahead and take a look.
It's literally a foreign ATM taking cash out of the United States to foreign destinations, and we don't know the reason why. But that is now under investigation by the FBI and HSI. And people say, well, is this normal? I mean, maybe this goes on at every airport. We got comparative statistics yesterday. The amount of money that these Somali couriers took out of the Minneapolis airport, with the TSA flagging it daily, was 99 times larger than all the cash that was declared in luggage going out of New York's JFK International Airport, one of the busiest international airports in America. 99 times more than what flies out of Dallas. 90% more. 90% more than what was flown out of Seattle, which is the most common airport for people to go to Asia from. This was an abnormally high amount of cash being stuffed in the luggage, being detected every day by the TSA. Because, by the way, the couriers they declared the money. They literally would say, "Yeah, we got $1 million in our suitcase," which you have to do to get it through the airport. And nobody in the Biden administration thought it was unusual that $1 million of cash was moving in luggage out of the country, out of Minneapolis every day, way more than any other airport in America at the time. This is, I think, the second end of this welfare scam, which is, where was this money going after it was deferred?
99 times more. 99% more, 90% more than any other airport. That, like, dude, this is freaking obvious, man. This is so obvious. I don't know why has the feds not been on this so much sooner. And they're saying that some of this stuff it's being reported anyway, that some of this stuff began, they noticed apparently between the years of 2016 and 2018, like a huge spike in money being transported, and like in cash being transported through the Minneapolis airport. So between 2016 and 2018, just a huge spike in cash, like more, like 90 times more than like, what the fuck, than any other airport. Like, this, I don't know. I'm not no detective, bro. I'm not no FBI agent. I'm not secret agent man on this, man. This is fucking obvious. I don't know. I guess when I was growing up, I grew up around kind of, a bit of a criminal activity going on. And yeah, like I see shit like this all the time going on here. People doing scams that are pretty similar to what I'm seeing out of Minnesota. Like, honestly, I've seen shit like this. People defrauding the government all the time for food stamps, for welfare checks, like all the time. This is like normal practice in like white trash or ghetto communities, man. This is and it's not just, I will say, it's not just illegal immigrants doing this shit, although they're doing it quite a bit. quite a bit more than even the white trash people that I used to hang around back in those days. But U.S. citizens are just as culpable in all this. I see it. I've seen it. Like I said, I've seen it happen all the time. This is common practice. This kind of fraud, and the way they transport money for this fraud is pretty similar. But it still does surprise me, like, that you could just go through an airport with millions of dollars in a carry-on bag, and they're just like, come on through. That's not suspicious at all. Like, like I said, I'm not fucking a detective, man. I'm not Batman. I'm not nothing. I'm just a dumb fucking construction worker that bitches on the internet, dude. But it seems pretty fucking blatant and right under your nose, right in your face. And I think the government has to be on some level in on the take, because it just doesn't make sense how you could get away with this for so long. And the fact that the stories like this are just breaking now, that just shows you how the mainstream media doesn't do their fucking job. Like, journalists out here not journaling, doing terrible journalism. Like, we're supposed to just hate. We're supposed to just orange man bad all day, rather than hey bro, like, a bunch of Somalians are going through this one particular airport out of all the airports in the whole country. Fucking this one particular airport in Minnesota just happens to be funneling a shitload of cash in carry-on bags, like 99% more than usual. That's terrible. But I also got, before I let you guys go, I got this one more thing here. I got I got an article here. Let's bring that up. We got this from the Tennessee Star. Feds probe hundreds of millions in suspected Somali cash in luggage leaving Minneapolis airport. Let's see if the Tennessee Star will kind of give us a little bit more information on how this is working here. I should put this in front of me. Sorry, guys. I sometimes don't know which way I'm facing here. I gotta keep this thing more in front of me. All right, I'll read this here. The Transportation Secretary Administration flagged nearly $700 million in cash detected in passengers' luggage leaving the Minneapolis airport the last 2 years. A massive cash exodus believed to be tied to Somali immigrants and their money couriers, Homeland Security officials told Just the News. The official said the cash movements out of Minnesota's largest airport began about a decade ago, around the time Democrat Governor Tim Walz took office. Oh my God! This is fucking so obvious! It's so obvious! It just so happens to be around the same time that Tim Walz took office. Gee, I wonder who the fuck... Like, oh my God, if this fucking guy doesn't end up... I'm sorry, guys. I'm losing it this morning. Already with this bullshit this morning. It's too early for this. I haven't had enough coffee yet. Oh, my God. If we do not see Tim Walz get the fuck out of there, and then after he gets the fuck out of there, gets indicted on fucking something, it's so unbelievably obvious. You don't have to be like a fucking secret agent, man, to fucking notice this. It has, I'll read here. Oh my God. I have a feeling I'm going to freak out before the end of this. The official said the cash movements out of Minnesota, I already read that. Tim Walz took office and has grown substantially in recent years. Though all were legally declared according to U.S. Customs rules, the bundles of cash and luggage, some as much as $1 million in a single trip. Like, dude... Nope, not suspicious. Nothing to see here, I guess. It's $1 million in a fucking bag at the airport. Like, oh my God. The least you could do is, like, flag the person and be like, this might be a person of interest. Like, it's at the very least, it's suspicious. Like, dude, I've seen cops, like fuck with people because they're walking down the sidewalk at night and like been pulled over and like frisked because they quote unquote look suspicious. But yet apparently a Somalian can walk through an airport with $1 million in cash in his carry-on and nothing to see here. All right, god damn it. Oh my god. Trying not to be black pilled, man. I'm trying not to swallow the black pill. Don't swallow it. Spit it out. Oh my god. In a single trip, it raised regular suspicions among TSA agents. It raised suspicions, but apparently not enough to do anything about it. The mountain of dollars leaving the country is now being investigated by the Homeland Security Investigations Unit. Oh, it's just now being investigated? Okay. Well, at least it's just now being investigated, considering it's been going on since 2018. Oh my god. As part of a broader probe into the multi-billion-dollar fraud scheme centered around the state's Somali immigrant community, where dozens have been charged with or convicted of federal crimes. You know, I like this article. It's a lot. I need to start going. What's this called? This is called the Tennessee Star. Good job, Tennessee Star. I like this article. It's a lot. Like, you guys remember the articles I was reading last night? The New York Post article is only like 3 paragraphs with like no information. It's mostly you're just supposed to read the headline and nothing else, I guess. I like these guys though. This is giving me a lot more information here. I'll read on. In March of last year, a federal jury convicted the head of a now defunct organization, Feeding Our Future, which apparently Ilhan Omar had connections to, in Minnesota for what prosecutors called the largest ever fraud of pandemic aid, which involved $250 million, the BBC reported. 349.4 million in cash discovered leaving Minneapolis in 2025. Officials said most of the dollars detected in luggage involved a small number of money couriers of Somali descent who took routine routes to Dubai via Amsterdam, usually from Minneapolis, but other times from Seattle, Dallas, Columbus, and Atlanta. Minneapolis travelers alone had 342.37 million in their luggage in 2024 and 349.4 million in 2025. And the totals nationwide are likely to be much higher. No shit. The officials told Just the News. TSA agents routinely flagged the cash movements to Customs and Border Protection and Homeland Security investigations, but there was little curiosity during the Biden administration. Gee, I wonder why. And investigations into the nature and players only began recently since Donald Trump returned to the White House, the officials told Just the News. So Just the News seems to have broken all this. They really want to let you know. One senior official who declined to be identified but has firsthand knowledge of the issue told Just the News that there wasn't much that could be done because the couriers always had their paperwork in order. But there were concerns about what was going on, and it may take Congress to change laws for federal authorities to get to the bottom of it or to stop it. What? We shouldn't have to change laws to at least, like, note that that's suspicious, bro. I guess. You see, this is the problem with immigration, man. Like, even legal immigration. Like, you got these people coming from these countries where this is fucking defrauding the government is like, it's just another fucking Tuesday to them, man. And trust me, like, not this is among fucking US citizens too, like people that are, you know, in the world of crime. Like, this is not anything different than anything I've ever seen. It's maybe at a larger scale than what I've seen personally, but this is regular business, man. Just another Tuesday, honestly. But the fact that they're just loopholing the system. What was I saying before? Yeah, about the immigration part is that these people have a culture of loopholing the system. These people come over here and they understand that we have these rights in the Constitution, and we're letting them use it against us, man. I heard this one lady, I have a quote that's really great for this, actually. This one lady that I was listening to do her lecture at a college, she said something. What'd she say? She said the Constitution is not a suicide pact. And I liked that because, like I said, seeing all these illegal immigrants or even legal immigrants using our system to steal taxpayer dollars, like using the legal avenues of our system to steal money from the American people and send it back to their country, is absolutely asinine. And nowhere in the Constitution does it say that we should just allow that, man. I love that quote. I wish I could remember what the lady's name was that said it. But the Constitution is not a fucking suicide pact. Our laws that we have written down on book, our system of government, our system of justice is not a suicide pact, bro. So I guess if we have to change laws to it, just like, that's the fucking problem, man. I just wish people could just like be normal, bro. Why do you gotta do this crazy shit, man? Just be normal. Ugh, it's very exhausting. But anyway, it's a much longer article. It's gonna take too long to get through. So I encourage you guys to go look at that from the Tennessee Star. It's a good article. It gives you a lot of information. But we're gonna go ahead and let you guys go there because we're kind of running on time. But we will see you guys hopefully later tonight. But make sure you guys smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, share the show with all your friends. You can find us on X and Facebook, and obviously here on YouTube at Wolfpack Media 92. And we will see you guys in the next episode. Peace.